Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're uncovering the avocado's hidden treasures. And honestly, we're gonna flip absolutely everything you thought you knew about this healthy fat staple completely on its head. I mean, most of us just slice it open, scoop out that delicious green fruit, and toss the rest without a second thought, right? But what if I told you the exact parts of the avocado you're throwing away are actually sitting right at the cutting edge of cancer and heart disease research? Okay, let's dive right into this number, 116, because that is exactly how many newly identified, potentially life-saving compounds researchers just found in the part of the avocado you probably threw in the compost bin this morning. Specifically, the papery husk that surrounds the avocado pit. Yep, literally the trash of the trash. We're going to explore how scientists are turning this everyday food waste into an absolute medical goldmine.
Section 1. Beyond the avocado toast. Establish the baseline. Before we start digging for hidden treasures in the trash, let's quickly establish a baseline of why we already love the edible flesh of this familiar superfood.
So this brilliantly illustrates the fat breakdown of the Hass avocado, and it's pretty remarkable all on its own. As you can see, a massive 71% of its fat content consists of healthy monounsaturated fatty acids, or MUFAs. Another 13% are polyunsaturated fats, and only 16% are saturated. This heavy concentration of MUFAs is exactly why eating avocados has been linked to such incredibly positive health outcomes. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown of a standard half avocado serving is that it shows us the exact nutrients clinically proven to lower bad cholesterol and reduce metabolic syndrome risks. Beyond just the fats, a single serving hits you with dietary fiber, potassium, magnesium, and a whole arsenal of vitamins, A, C, E, and K. So it's a nutritional powerhouse for sure. But here is the wild part. All of these benefits, they're basically just the opening act. The gem of wastes unlocking the seed husk. Let's move to the pivot point of our story and see how this builds into a completely new area of research involving the often discarded seed husk. Enter Dr. Debasish Bandyopadhyay and his team at the University of Texas. They took about 300 dried seed husks, ground them down into a powder, and extracted the oils to discover this exact philosophical hinge that changes how we view food waste. As he put it so perfectly, the quote-unquote waste of wastes might actually be the gem of gems because of the incredible medicinal compounds locked inside. So, the absolute crucial point here is that they found 116 unique compounds in the seed husk oil that aren't even present in the avocado seed itself. Through a highly advanced process called chromatography mass spectrometry, they analyzed the chemical makeup of this husk oil and realized, wow, they were looking at completely uncharted territory of bioactive molecules. And instead of just looking at this as a boring list of chemicals, think of these compounds as specialized soldiers. For instance, the researchers found heptacosane, which shows serious promise in directly targeting and killing tumors. Then there's dodecanoic acid, actively working to boost your good cholesterol. And they even found behenyl alcohol, which is a compound already used in antiviral medications. So these aren't just generic nutrients, They're highly specific, medically valuable compounds hiding right inside that papery seed husk. A toxin's secret power, the Persyn paradox. But hey, the surprises don't stop at the husk. There's also a fascinating, paradoxical mystery hidden within the leaves and the fruit itself. We're shifting gears from beneficial oils to something entirely counterintuitive. Think about it. We usually think of toxins as dangerous, right? Something to strictly avoid. But what if a naturally occurring avocado toxin could actually act as a potent, highly selective medicine? In the wildly complex world of plant biology, the defense mechanisms plants use to ward off pests can sometimes act as a silver bullet against human diseases. Researchers at the Garvin Institute actually followed this bizarre chain of events, starting with sick lactating cows. Farmers noticed that cattle grazing on avocado leaves and fruit were developing a type of mastitis, which is an inflammation of the mammary gland. So, like great detectives, scientists investigated the cause and isolated an avocado toxin called persin. And what they discovered next was nothing short of miraculous. This exact same toxin that made the cows sick was found to selectively target and kill breast cancer cells in a laboratory setting. No way, right? Here's how it works. By raising a specific killer protein inside the laboratory, persin actively destroys the breast cancer cells. Now, before you start panicking about your next bowl of guacamole, let me reassure you. Because humans literally cannot break down plant cell walls in the same way cattle do, we aren't exposed to this toxin when simply eating an avocado. It's a mechanism purely unlocked through careful, targeted scientific extraction. And this brilliantly illustrates the hope for the future. You see, combining persin with common breast cancer drugs like tamoxifen could allow patients to use smaller, safer doses of each medicine with far fewer side effects. Traditional chemotherapy can be notoriously harsh on the body, as we all know, but if persin works synergistically with existing drugs, it could completely revolutionize breast cancer treatment protocols, making them safer and a whole lot more effective. The cellular battleground, hard science made simple. Okay, let's dive into the hard science for a second and look at exactly how these various avocado extracts, from the seeds, husks, and peels, wage war on a cellular level. These extracts basically fight on three microscopic fronts. First, they act as pro-apoptotic agents. Apoptosis is programmed cell death, meaning the extracts essentially trigger the cancer cells to hit their own self-destruct button. Second, they act as powerful antioxidants by boosting an enzyme called superoxide dismutase, or SOD, which defends normal cells against DNA-damaging free radicals. And third, they're potent anti-inflammatories, suppressing the harmful cytokines that create the inflamed environment cancer absolutely loves to grow in. Now, what's really interesting about this flowchart is how it visually synthesizes these mechanisms. It shows exactly how the extracts tackle the problem from multiple angles simultaneously. On one side, the extracts actively attack mutated, proliferating cells, and on the other, they fortify and protect normal, healthy cells from turning cancerous. It's a remarkably powerful dual-action defense system happening on a microscopic level. And it goes even further than that. By triggering a state called cellular senescence, the avocado seed extract essentially forces cancer cells into early retirement. Since cancer's main weapon is its ability to divide and multiply uncontrollably, this is huge. The extracts have been shown to arrest the tumor's growth cycle right in its tracks, locking the cancer cell in a dormant state where it simply can no longer spread. The future of avocado medicine, from trash to treatment. Let's move to our final section and see how all of this groundbreaking research builds towards the future of modern medical treatments. So where are we heading? Well, researchers now plan to isolate and safely modify these newly discovered chemical compounds to develop entirely new medications. We're transitioning from simply consuming the edible flesh for its nutrition to extracting toxins from the leaves for targeted breast cancer therapy and mining the discarded feed husk to treat heart disease and viruses. We are literally transforming what we treat as everyday garbage into the pharmaceutical breakthroughs of tomorrow. So the next time you scoop out an avocado and toss the pit and that papery husk right into the trash, you really have to ask yourself about the untethered potential of nature. What other hidden medical marvels, what other treatments for our most devastating diseases are we simply throwing away without a second thought? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you never look at your breakfast exactly the same way again.